In today's video, I will tell you how to create your own crypto signal using multiple indicators. So the very first indicator that I'm going to discuss is MACD. So I'm currently on tradingview.com and I have selected my coin MBOX USDT. You can do this technical analysis on any of your favorite coin. For the sake of example, I have taken MBOX. By going to the indicators tab, going to select moving average convergence divergence. This is MACD indicator. Now let me tell you how to set this one. You have to click on this settings, or either you have to double click on the chart. I'm going to make the colors red. Likewise for color 1, I'm again choosing the same color. For color 2, I'm going to choose the green color. For color 3 again, I'm choosing the green color. Now this MACD is actually this blue line, and the orange line that you can see over here is the signal line. So I'm going to choose signal as red and MACD as green. So now I'm going to select my time frame. You can use either the daily chart or the 4-hour chart, because you cannot get accuracy from this particular indicator using the smaller time frame. So you either have to choose 4-hour chart or the daily time frame. Daily time frame is this 1-day chart. So as you can see, I have selected 4-hour chart, and this is how my chart looks like. Now the main point is that this is the lower low area. Let me expand it. This is the lower low area of this graph, and this is the higher high area. Whenever a crossover occurs, like we can see the crossover here, let me draw. You can see the crossover at this point, then you can see a crossover at this point. Likewise, there is a crossover at this point, then there is a crossover at this point. So these are the crossovers that I want to explain as an example. Let me remove all these. So whenever a crossover is occurring between the MACD and signal, by looking at this lower low area at the crossover, when MACD is above the signal, then there will be price appreciation, meaning thereby that when the green line is above this red line after the crossover, then there will be a price appreciation. I repeat that when you are looking at the lower low area, at this lower low area, when you're looking, and you can see that there is a crossover of MACD and signal, and after the crossover, if MACD is above this red line, the signal line, then we can expect a price appreciation, and that is the right time to take an entry in any coin, and you can buy your coin at this particular point. But make sure to use 4-hour or daily time frame. You cannot take entry after seeing the crossover at 1 minute or maybe 15 minutes chart. You have to take the bigger time frame. All right, so this means that there will be price appreciation. However, if you can see on the higher high area, When after the crossover, MACD, that means this green line, is below the red line, and that means that volume is decreasing. As you can see, the volume is decreasing. And then that means that you have to sell your coin at this particular point. Once this crossover occurs on the higher high area, on this point, when the crossover occurs on the higher high area and the green line is below the red line, then that is the right time to sell your coin at this particular crossover. Because if you are not selling your coin at the crossover, then the price will decrease sharply and you will be again at your buying price. So this should be kept in mind, that you have to take entry in any coin when there is a crossover in the lower low area. You have to sell your coin when you see a crossover in the higher high area of the graph. So this is one way to take entry, but this is not completely authentic and you cannot rely wholly and solely on MACD. You have to take some other indicators to consideration as well in order to be very sure. So the next very important indicator is relative strength index, this one. So for the time being, I'm going to remove this MACD. Now, what are the settings of this particular indicator? Let me minimize it. By clicking on the settings, you will land over here. And this has to be 14. And in the style tab, you have to uncheck RSI based MA. And you will find this one purple line over here. By clicking OK, you will be here in this point. Now, if you have a close look, then there are some readings mentioned over here. And right now, this particular value, if I place my pointer at this particular area, then you see that RSI is 28.37 right now. Now, how you can judge either to take entry in any coin? By looking at the RSI. So this works like this, that if your RSI is below 30, 30 is somewhere over here, exactly this is a 30. This white line is 30. So whenever your graph line falls below this 30, then that is the right time to take the entry. Again, if you are looking for scalping and trading, then you have to see 5-minute chart or 30-minute chart. If you are looking into short-term profit like 24 hours, 48 hours, 1 day maybe. So for daily scalp, you have to select 5-minute or 30-minute chart. And if you see over here, then the RSI is 25. This is the right time to take a coin. As we are discussing MBOX, so I would suggest that this is the right time. But this particular analysis is restricted to this particular time frame and this particular date and day. You cannot take the entry if you are watching this video in some later days. Now, if the coin is if the RSI is above 70, this one is 70. If this graph is above 70, then that is the right time to sell your coin. Otherwise, it will again fall back in this bracket. So let me show you if I can find an example of oversold. Yes, you can see that at this particular point, the RSI was 75.31. At this particular point, it was 73.08. So whenever it is above 70, then you have to definitely sell your coin and you will be in good profit. This particular indicator gives you 60 to 70% success ratio, but again you have to be much more sure by looking at one more indicator. So the other indicator is for EMA. You will see a lot of 4 EMA, but you have to select 6261 EMA. So I have selected 4 EMA over here, and something like this will appear. These 4 particular lines will appear on your screen, and if you closely see them, then this blue line has an EMA strength of 9 as mentioned over here. Then the purple line has a strength of 13. Likewise, the orange line has a strength of 21 and the yellow line is 55. So these lines show the EMA values. For this particular indicator, you have to look at bigger time frames like 4-hour chart. And this each candle is representing the movement of the market in 4 hours. Each candle shows the 4-hour movement. So now when there is a crossover of all 4 EMA, all these 4 lines, then that means that an uptrend of a coin has started. Crossover should be when it is in descending order below the graph. For example, you can see that this crossover has taken place below the graph and in descending order. How it is descending? That the largest value is 55. If you can see above on this particular point, these values, if you see, then the yellow has a value of 55. Let me zoom it in. And this is the particular area where crossover actually happened. So after the crossover, you can see that it is in descending order, like 55 is first, then there is 21, then there is 13, then there is 9. So this shows that right after this crossover, an uptrend has started. Until the time again a crossover has not taken place, then the uptrend keeps on going. See? But whenever a crossover occurs above the graph, just like this, or maybe if I can show you another clear example, yes, as you can see that again there is a crossover above the graph, and this, and you can see that a downtrend has started. So this is how you can be sure either to sell your coin or to buy your. When there is a crossover above the graph in descending order, then that is the right time to sell your coin at your earliest in order to be in profit. So these are two very important indicators that I have discussed today, which will help you take entry in any coin. And these indicators are very beneficial if you are taking your entries in future trading. So I hope this had cleared some ambiguities in your mind, we cannot wholly and solely rely on the technical analysis. We also have to rely on fundamental and sentiment analysis as well. So in my later videos, I'll be discussing how to check the fundamental analysis of a coin, and then I'll be discussing how we can check the sentiment analysis.